Now, the rest of the story.
All right, let's go. Somebody's getting ejected. He only made it one round, but he's shedding terribly. The fact that he started dry heaving, and I just got him out of the cab out in the field in time before he projectile puked all over my cab. The sad part is, that would have been the second time this fall that has happened. Shut the dryer down so you can hear me. So, welcome back to another fun, exciting, productive day on Kister Farms. So you're watching the rest of the story. The other bin is full, the storage bin, the souk up, which is my preferred bin I'd rather be dealing with. I'm not really gonna mince words, I'm not a fan of the sous bin. By design and how heavy it is built, to be quite honest. Issues with the stirrator from when it was new, and then still having issues with it even after those issues were addressed. I'm over it. So, and actually the souk up is built heavier and was actually more affordable. One of the things Ryan and I seem to say about the souk up compared to the sous bin every year is actually the ladder. The staircase, I should say. The staircase is actually wider on the souk up, and the platform up on top is much roomier. Two people can stand on it without crowding each other at all. So we did go through the other day, and I hope you guys can maybe see something. Let's do this. There we go. So we're just about done filling the cone in. This bin, granted, you gotta give it a little bit of leeway. With the stirrator being in the bin, you can't fill it up right up to the roof. I mean, typically you don't want to in any bin, but the souk up bin is filled completely full. I mean, as full as we really can get it. It's pretty much completely level across the top. It's about a foot down on the sides, and then it's got just a little bit of a build-up, kind of like a donut underneath the spreader. Adjusted the auger over the spreader a couple times while we were transferring corn over, because for those of you that haven't been watching this channel throughout fall, we were actually dumping dry corn out of the field, 16-17%, which we only had 4 loads that were 17 and like 17 to 17.9 go into the other bin. So we actually had that bin over half full, so we just transferred over just the dry material that we needed out of this one, the dry corn, and top that one off, because the stuff we're hauling in now it's dry enough. It actually dried out the last couple days. Before we got rained out, we were looking at 18-19%. Everything that's been coming in right now is coming out right about an even 17, and ideally you wanted about 14.5, but we're gonna run air on it, a little bit of heat, not nearly as much as we did last year. Last year there was no end to the amount of propane we were putting through this bin trying to get the corn to dry, and even then you couldn't get the stuff to dry. So as you can see, a little bit of cone yet. I did start the stirrator up, not like we really need it, but the reason I like running it is because it does help level out the bin. The plan is to fill this up as full as I can to the bottom of the stirrator or the top of the auger. We got a little metal paddle on top of each of the augers, and ideally, if I could like have it completely perfectly level, it would pretty much come out right to where those paddles are, because those paddles do a pretty nice job of distributing the corn throughout the bin. And then once this bin is full, we're gonna go ahead and dump all of the rest of the corn that we have to sell this year, or we have to harvest this year, dump it on Ryan's truck and send it to the river. We have a few contracts that we have to meet for November, and today is the 28th of October for those of you keeping score. Actually, other than the mud that I'm dealing with, I'm actually tearing up my driveway now. Actually, that was all nice green grass. Probably gonna have to tear it up and seed it down again next year. But other than the mud that I am tracking a little bit, it's actually kind of nice out. It was 23 degrees out this morning when I got up, and I mean, come on, it's the end of October, 1st November. It's fall. I mean, hopefully we'll be done. I don't like swearing like that. I know I don't like saying plan and hope, but the way it's looking, I mean, just for face value of how it's looking, we should be done next week with harvest. I'm actually planning, there I go swearing again. I'm actually gonna go out. You guys saw I had this chisel plow hooked up at 46 yesterday. I still do. I'm actually gonna take it out, and whenever we get done harvesting for today, I'm gonna probably go run a few hours tonight. Hopefully the ground will be firm enough. I mean, it might be a little bit muddy on top, but if I get down underneath, it's not too soft. I don't like doing tillage in mud. The reason for that is because then it just feels like you're stirring up mud and you're not really doing an actual decent job of tillage. So I'm gonna slide that over, and don't you know, all right, ha! Wow, I get one of those this season, and you guys just saw it on camera. So I'm gonna go here, drop that down, catch my microphone cord. I actually prefer having it set because the way the auger runs, it actually feeds in better if it goes in on this side, because it is actually the way it's spinning, it feeds quicker. A little dirt there, over there too, and I can unload it a little bit faster. I run the tractor. Oh, this is pretty much exactly how I do it. The sweep bin, you guys can look at me real quick. Get you, see, get your little motion sickness, but it takes quite a bit to actually get that door open with all that corn on behind it. Come over here, turn the power takeoff on, real nice and easy. There it goes. Corn's starting to flow. You can hear I already had corn in the auger. Let the old pony stir. And try to keep it pretty well covered, maxed out. We're going for peak efficiency. I mean, granted, I've been out of here by now, but I do it for the rest of you guys, or I do it for the rest of the story. A little bit of material coming through. It's really not the combine's fault. The stuff that we're harvesting right now, I thought it was down worse than what it is. I mean, it does have its spots, it does have some areas on it that the reel is having to go to work, and it is pulling the corn through the head. But overall, Dad's actually been able to outpace me getting back out there, so good. So the way it's looking, I mean, I was concerned whether or not we were going to be able to have enough corn to fill this bin up, just the way everything's turning out, you know. But that's the first that we ran through out of my brother's place. And so far, so good. I mean, if we can get both these bins topped off, the Suka bin it's fuller than we've ever had it in the past, and largely because I was actually able to watch it. It's our third year filling it, but I was actually able to watch it and move the auger up on top, so it was dumping into the spreader on top, because it's a big cone and a pan that spins underneath it. Well, if you're not dumping it directly on top of the cone, it feeds unevenly, and then the bin gets filled lopsided, and then it starts, well, it gives the rest of us chest pain because that bin collapsed, even though that was filled nice and level. But it's also 40 some years old, and the tin is like paper thin on it. Yes, we did put some corn in it, but we only put, I don't think we even have a third of a bin in it, but That's cow feed for this year. Anything that's left over, we do have the ability to put some air on it. I mean, that's what the fan's there for yet. But anything that is left over will go down the road next year, as opposed to putting it in the silo. I got to clean the silo out. It's got a couple hundred bushels of crud corn in it. Just the nature of the silo, I guess. And honestly, I'm getting over it. People ask a lot if we're gonna use the silos or fill the silos again, and every year that passes it becomes more and more unlikely. I don't really want to invest the money into the chopping equipment, the boxes, the chopper, a decent mower, because the one we got is shook. Then you got to factor in the ground, the crops to feed the cattle. Our cattle, believe it or not, I mean, if it works for you, it works. And round bales. I mean, all these bales you see here are mine, and it's cow feed. It's good enough quality for even cow feed. It's not junk feed at all. And I was able to hit everything pretty well on the head. That is a lie. That's a flat out lie. Not everything ran through great, but my worst material would be those bales right there, and that stuff is still better than a lot of material I made last year that we were feeding our cows. Bale feeders, man, it keeps them more active throughout the winter because you're constantly having to put bales in every other couple days. But get more cows around, and I mean, it keeps you active throughout the winter, keeps you warm, right? Be sitting in the house all the time. I can't say that. I hate the winter. I hate being cold, but at least when I'm outside taking care of cattle, I'm doing something to make money. I'm gonna get back to work because I gotta go watch that.